welcome to the latest episode of my knitting and creative podcast. My name on Instagram is Orchid's Heart and I'm coming to you from Birmingham in England. We're having quite a changeable day in terms of weather and light, so I apologise if it gets a bit bright and dark. I have no fancy lighting to try and even it out, so we're just making the best of it. At least it's not pouring with rain and incredibly dark like it was yesterday. So, I hope you're all well. I'm feeling a little better than I did perhaps in the last episode. But I am getting to the point now in pregnancy where I'm generally quite tired, so forgive me if I seem a bit sleepy. We are having a bank holiday Monday in England, so I'm having a nice day off work, doing not a lot. And I thought I would share with you an update on some of my projects. You're not going to see this for a week or two after, so, you know, it's no longer a bank holiday when you see this. But yes, so that's where we are. Yeah, I'm hoping the camera angle isn't too wonky. As always, I can never really tell what it looks like because I'm using the normal camera on my phone because it's higher quality than the front-facing camera, so I have no idea what you can see. But yeah, hopefully it's all good. Have a lukewarm coffee, which I'm halfway through drinking. And I'm going to share with you today 2 finished objects, 2 whips, a sewing project which in its current state is a whip, but probably by the time you see this it's finished, so hopefully I can put up some footage, and maybe a couple of things that I was going to share in my last video that I ran out of time for. So yeah, so thank you for watching. There's been quite a few new people joining lately, so hello and welcome. I really appreciate you joining my creative space. For new people, I'm in my, I think I'm almost in the 8th month of my pregnancy now, so it's kind of the beginning of the end. I'm beginning to get nervous. Yeah, and for those of you who watched my last couple of episodes, my partner is getting a bit better now. He is kind of bumbling around a bit. For those of you who haven't seen, he injured his foot quite badly. He had to have an operation. And so things, it's kind of getting to that point now where we can see the deadline where we need to be ready. And it's beginning to get a bit hairy. Yes, but there we go. But yeah, so if you want to support my channel, you can do by either buy me a coffee on Ko-fi, coffee, whatever you call it. I'll put the link in the description below. Or you can have a look at my Ravelry wish list of patterns, because I have a few patterns on there that I would like to knit over the coming months, and so if you feel like you want to support my channel in some way, you can gift me a pattern if you would like, and I really appreciate those of you that have. I'm really hoping to cast on a couple of those baby knits soon. I've been a bit slow on the baby knitting lately. Beginning to lose my words, but now that I've finished up a couple of other projects, hopefully I have a bit more time and space to do that. Kind of vaguely aware, I was thinking earlier that once my partner's back on his feet, it might be that I have a little bit less time for a couple of weeks, because we need to start focusing on doing the things that we've not been able to do. Like I need to put some shelves up in the baby's room so I can organise all the stuff we've been given, and I don't know, tidying and making space, because the last thing I want to do is when he comes for the whole house to still be a complete mess. But that's boring conversation, so I'm not going to go into it. So yes, I have 2 finished objects. One was a long-term languishing whip. The other one I hadn't even cast on in the last video, and I've cast and knit it. So that's exciting. So we'll start with the long-term languishing whip. And that is, finally, they are sort of done, my magical Mycelium Socks by Stone Knits. These are knit in the Exmoor sock yarn by John Arbon, which is a yarn I really like. It is 60% Exmoor Blueface, 20% Corriedale, both of those are superwash, 10% Zorptors, 10% nylon. So it's a really rustic sock yarn. It's got 200 meters for 50 grams, so it's a solid fingering 4-ply. And the colours I used were Bibble Bug, Odd Beam, Drumble is the yellow, and Mizzle is the sort of natural colour. And that is actually the yarn and the colours that she designed the pattern in, Stone Knits. So she asked me to test knit her socks. She actually said that the colours and Mushroom Obsession reminded her of me, so I was very flattered. And of course I did test knit them, but I said when I accepted at the time I'd only have time to knit one before we went on holiday to America. I didn't actually anticipate the second one would take me so long to knit, but it did, because it is 3-stranded colour work for most of it. So it's not a mindless knit. She does recommend that you don't carry or twist the floats because that can seize it up a bit, and does give you a couple of other tips on making a 3-stranded colourwork sock still fit on your foot. I have to be honest, I tried my second one on before I blocked it. I couldn't actually get it on. I think my feet have swollen up a little bit, or my ankles have swollen a little bit since getting pregnant. I had no problem with the first one before I was pregnant, so I'm hoping I'll be okay. I don't know if you can tell, but they are slightly different on the heels, because I found that, so I did the heel exactly as she recommended in the pattern on the first one, and I find that on my foot it's strained a little bit here. Now, I'd never done a heel like this before. I think it's a short row heel, maybe. Sorry, I can't remember. So I actually did a planned afterthought heel in the second one, and I actually held the yarn double, so it's a bit thicker, and I did, I think, 3 rounds without any decreases before starting the decreases, and it's in the same method that you would do the toe, in the hope that that would strain less over my foot here. Obviously, as I haven't been able to get it on my foot, I haven't tried. I will let you know by putting some text on the screen if after blocking I was able to get it on my feet. Maybe I'll be able to take a nice photo of me wearing them. I think that these will be maybe like an early autumn sock, or like nowish weather for me, because I think they'll look really nice with my buckle shoes. I'm not sure the leg is quite long enough to wear with my boots, and even then you wouldn't get to see any of the 3-stranded colour work, so it seems kind of a waste. But yeah, to be honest, if I don't end up wearing them that much, I'm quite happy to have them hanging up. I think they look really pretty, but I am hoping that even if I can't wear them now, that I will be able to when everything goes back to normal, because I love mushrooms and I love these colours. I've also realised I should have shared what I'm wearing, so I'm just going to make a note. So I am wearing the Tegna top by Caitlin Hunter in Fingering 4-ply yarn by Viola Yarns, and I think the colour was called Slate or something like that, and it was a yarn I got in a de-stash because she's a Canadian dyer, and I think I used 1.5 skeins to do it, maybe nearly 2. And it's a short sleeve, sort of, I don't know if you can see the bottom, maybe if I hold it up you can. It's got some lace detail at the bottom. And to be honest, I haven't worn it that much, but at the moment it's really good because because of the way it's shaped. If I stand up, maybe you can see. It's got quite a lot of ease at the bottom. Which is quite good for my shape at the moment. So yeah, I've been wearing it quite a bit lately, and because of the short sleeves it's not overly warm, and because it's super wash it's not itchy. I didn't used to have a problem at all with rustic yarns, but I am finding that my tummy is quite sensitive, and if I wear something a bit rustic, even over a t-shirt or a dress or something, it does prickle through, and it is making my tummy itch quite a lot. Not the rest of me, just my tummy, so I've not really been able to wear my Let Low P jumpers or cardigans lately, which is fine, you know, it's spring, it's getting warmer, I don't need to be quite as warm as I was, but again I'm hoping that's something that will wear off because I love my Let Low P jumpers. I would be really upset if I could no longer wear them. I'm sure it's a temporary thing, It doesn't surprise me really that your tummy would be more sensitive at this time. So yeah, I've been wearing things like this a lot more. I'm kind of grateful that even though I didn't wear it much after I knit it, that I still have it in my wardrobe. I am wearing underneath it a Demeter dress. I'll stick a photo of me wearing this outfit where you can see a bit better, because I did take a photo earlier, so you can see. But talking about summer knits, my second finished object is a summer ranunculus. So how long have I been knitting for or doing these videos, and I have never knit a ranunculus before. So this is my first, and I knit it out of some secondhand thrifted yarn, and it is the Rowan Pure Life Revive, which is 36% recycled silk, 36 recycled cotton, and 28% recycled viscose, and I paid about £1.50 a ball in the charity shop. And I don't know if you can see, but it has lots of different colours in it. So it's kind of like this pinky oatmeal, and then has flecks of blue, pink, brown, purple, all sorts of colours in there. And I thrifted 5 balls, and I have about 2 left. This one's a bit smaller. I think whoever donated it used a bit of that one. But I have a little bit from the third one I didn't use, the third full ball. So I think I have 2 full balls left. It's a DK weight yarn, so it's 125 meters per 50 grams. So if anybody knows of any good summer lacy tank patterns that use about 250 meters in a small size, please recommend, because I'd quite like to use it. I really enjoyed knitting with it. I don't think I've ever knit really with many plant-based yarns. Probably only on a handful of occasions, and most people say that knitting with them is harder than it is with wool, but I actually really enjoyed knitting this. So it's not blocked. Let me put it on. I only finished it last night. I think it probably took me a week to knit it. But it is at quite a loose gauge. Doesn't really go with the stripy top. But I think it will look quite nice with my orange dress. So there we go. So I really like it actually. I'm really pleased. I'm quite pleased with the fit. I went down a needle size, so I think they recommend 6mm and 5.5. I used 4.5 and 5mm on this DK weight yarn, and I really like the fabric it's created. It's quite drapey. This is obviously pre-blocking, so I think it might grow a bit when it blocks. But you know, that's fine. I can live with that. I ignored the instructions for the neckline. I just did an all Norwegian cast on, and cast on the amount of stitches you end up needing for the neckline. The version of the pattern I have is the one where there's only one size, so I think that might be an old version of the pattern. I'm not sure. And I also ignored the instructions for the picking up of the arms and doing the arm bind off, because the instructions seemed a bit weird about bringing yarn to the front and cable cast on, and I couldn't be bothered. So I just do what you normally do with the sleeve, pick up stitches, add a few more in the corners, and then decrease them out so you don't get holes. Did a bit of ribbing, and then I did sewn bind offs for the bottom and the armholes. The arms, sorry. Can you tell my brain is a bit foggy at the moment? Yeah, so I'm really happy with it. I'm surprised I didn't use more yarn. So that's quite interesting. That means I used 250, 3 balls. I mean, maximum then it's like 1.5 skeins of 100 grams of DK. That's not very much. And it does really make you think, actually. That could be quite a nice pattern to knit some other projects. Yeah, up in. I was thinking with my Aran Weight broom yarn from Daughter of a Shepherd that I bought at Wonderwall recently, I would really like to knit a winter one with long sleeves. So I think I have about 600 meters, so I should have more than enough to do one longer in the body and longer in the arms, and I think that'd be really cozy. Probably what I would do is knit the body until it's about the length it is right now, and then do the sleeves and then see what I've got left. And I think that'd be a really cozy snuggly jumper, and I'm actually really excited to knit that one, and I'm trying to resist casting it on now because it was quite an easy knit, and I think it'd be a good thing to do when I'm at home with the baby. I also have some blue yarn. I think it's a cotton wool blend and then a matching mohair that I naturally dyed, that I had thought that I would knit a ranunculus in as well. So I have yarn for two. Maybe that one I would do 3/4 sleeve, I don't know, or maybe still long sleeve. But yeah, so that's exciting projects to have lined up. I'm going to be bitten by the ranunculus bug, it seems. Anyway, I'm just going to see how we're doing for time. I'm trying to get better at making sure I catch it before it cuts out, because then it cuts my words off and then sometimes it's hard to understand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to leave this on. I can't bother to change again. But hopefully when I'm editing this video I would have blocked it and dried it, and you can see a photo of it on, or it lying somewhere looking a bit neater. So that's my finished objects. Feels like a mammoth achievement to have finished those socks, and I'm quite surprised I've knit a top really within about a week. I was at a friend's birthday barbecue yesterday and did quite a lot of knitting then. To be honest, once you've knit the yoke, there isn't actually that much like body knitting to do before you're on the ribbing, and then you're kind of on the home stretch. So if you need an easy quick project and you've not knit one before, I do recommend. It wasn't anything like knitting the Tegna, which is obviously 4-ply, smaller needles, more meters. I actually found this quite tedious because you know, you do the lace and then it's all stockinette, and it's a lot of stockinette. So yeah, it was a bigger project, but one that I am very much enjoying at the moment, so that's good. So moving on to whips then. I have made some progress on my whip sock, although I'm not sure how much and whether you'd seen it basically in this state before. I'm knitting some Scrappy socks using Woolly Mammoth 4-ply sock yarn. Don't really know where I was last time, so forgive me if it does look the same. But I'm still on the first one. I think this might, after I finish the baby cardigan I'm knitting at the moment, which I'm not going to share with you this time because it definitely does look the same as last time. But once I've finished that, this will be my work meeting knit, I think, or like taking out and about. But I'm really going to try and focus on the baby cardigan because it's been on the needles for a while now and I want it finished because I have some other knits that I'd like to knit for the baby. So that's how I'm doing with my sock. I might cast the other one on soon, just to have, because I have more than one pair of 2mm small circulars, just to have on the go, so that it's there, because I feel like maybe I will just keep going with more enthusiasm if I already cast the second one on. So that might happen, I might leave it. But the more exciting whip, oh, I just dropped the ball, is my Ovis cardigan, which is supposed to be a sweater, but I'm changing it to a cardigan. So I've finished the yoke and I've separated for sleeves. Obviously not blocked, looking a bit sort of seized up at the moment. But I shared last time that I was going to do my short rows and then split for sleeves. So I did a bit of research and I found a blog that recommended doing longer short rows and getting shorter and shorter, because that fit more with the shape of our backs. And so I have done that on the back here, which you won't really be able to see. But so I've done my short rows underneath the colour work before splitting for sleeves. So I put a lifeline in before doing the short rows, so that if it fits really badly I can rip back easily. So I'm just doing maybe another inch on the body, and then I'm going to pick up and do some work on the sleeves, just to see how it's fitting, because I don't want to knit the whole body and then realise that it's not fitting very well. So I'll do a bit more. I'm finding it a bit of a slog. I think maybe it's quite dense, and that maybe this yarn would have benefited going up a needle size, but I'm committed now, so I'm going to have to keep going. So I'm hoping that doesn't become too laborious. But I really like the way the yoke came out. I've used a mixture of yarns by Fibre Tales. The grey and the black is the Gotland mix from Fibre Tales. The green is Smood or Smooid, I'm not sure how you say it, from Shilzadar. It's naturally dyed. The cream is just a farm yarn that I bought when I was in France a couple of years ago. And then the brown is also just like a farm yarn that I bought from Portland Fibre when I was in America. So yeah, it's a jumper knit entirely from stash. Some of it's scraps and leftovers. And I said that I was going to frog the unarmoured defence cowl that I knit using this yarn so that I could reclaim it for this jumper, because I didn't really... Oh, I keep dropping things. No, it's a needle stopper. Don't lose the stitches. Oh, that's exactly what's happening. Everything's dropping. Oh. What was I saying? I didn't like the combination of the pattern with this yarn. I think this yarn is too tightly spun for something like the unarmoured defence cowl. And I've since decided that the unspun yarn I bought at Wonderwool is what I'm going to knit my new one in. But not yet. So that's my biggest whip at the moment. I'm not really in a hurry to finish it, because it's definitely going to be more of a winter garment. But at the same time, because it involves steeking, I would rather finish it before the summer, because then it'll be ready and I don't need to worry about steeking something in the autumn. So that's my whips. So that's everything I have to share knitting wise at the moment. So a few projects on the go, but not loads. I feel like I have a lot more on the go than I actually do. I probably do have, after I finish those woolly mammoth socks, I do still have 2 more odd socks I could make mates for, but I might do one of them. I'm not sure about the other. I kind of feel like I want to cast on something new sock-wise, a bit more exciting, but we'll see. It might be that I kind of save the next sock project for... Sorry, I thought I'd hear a noise. For like an easy self-striping sock project for kind of... Oh, the sound is my chair. Close to the time of having the baby, so I've got an easy project on the go, maybe. But yes, that's all the knitting. So if you're not interested in sewing or like skincare crafts, then that's kind of the end, I think, because I was going to share with you the last little bit of footage that I didn't share in my last video, where I was kind of sharing my future quilted jacket project, and I think there might have been something else in there as well. So yeah, I'm going to do like a little break with some footage, share that part of my last podcast that you didn't get to see because it was a bit too long, and then I'm going to give you an update on what I'm doing currently sewing wise. a couple of sewing projects on the go at the moment. Hopefully you've just seen some footage of my bigger one that I'm only really just getting started on, and that I might do some embroidery on that today, possibly. The other thing that I was thinking about working on, I've just seen some straight threads, was I saw somebody on Instagram had made some Ninni Culottes and she'd worn them whilst pregnant. Now I have the pattern already. I had it printed already on A0 printed sheets. I've had it for ages. I've just never made it up. So I thought, oh well, I have the pattern. I have that linen that I dyed and did not like the colour of. Perhaps it would make a very good pair of sort of luxury pyjamas, loungewear trousers. I don't know. I was thinking of comfortable things I can wear now and afterwards, and I really like linen, and I've always wanted linen pyjamas, but that seems like a decadence to make a set of pyjamas out of linen. It would be really expensive. And I thought, well, I don't actually like the colour of this linen, so I'm not sure I'm going to wear it out the house. So why not make some Ninni Culottes in them? And so I'm nearly there. They look massive at the moment. I just need to do the waistband, which is what I'm going to do today. So hopefully I would have finished them and you can see a video or photo of me wearing them if they do fit, and if they don't fit there'll be a picture of them on the floor, because I haven't altered the pattern. It was suggested that I maybe should increase the rise, but when I was looking at it and did all the the waist measurements and everything, it looked massive and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. I'm nowhere near the finished garment size. But when I tried them on yesterday, it looks like the waistband would cut across my tummy, so I'm not sure whether that will be comfortable. When I wear my pyjamas at the moment, I am wearing the waistband under the bump, but I don't know whether this will look right with these. Maybe it doesn't matter if I'm wearing them as pyjamas. So I'm umming and ahhing, and I'm sorry if you do weigh in on this decision. It'll be too late because I would have already decided whether to do a drawstring waistband or an elastic waistband or a combination or something else, because I would like to be able to wear them afterwards. I don't want it to be too faffy changing the waistband, so I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got some elastic that has like buttonholes in, so I think they use them on kids' clothes quite a lot. You can put it in and make it tighter. So I'm sort of thinking about doing that on the back and then a drawstring on the front. Honestly, I don't know. The other thing is, it might be that I end up re-dyeing them at some point to a darker orange. The thread I've actually used is a more of a rust colour, and so far the only line of stitching you can see on the outside is the hem on the bottom. It does rather stand out, because I thought if I dye it, I probably am going to dye them a darker orange, so maybe the thread would match a bit better. Because the thread I'm using is polyester, so if I do dye them, the thread wouldn't dye. So if I do a drawstring, the buttonholes probably won't dye, so I need to think about that. Also, whatever stitching I do on the waistband is probably going to be visible, so I guess that's kind of why I've been holding off finishing. But I did all of this yesterday. I cut out the pattern, cut out the fabric and did this much, and that was only really like a morning's worth of work. I hate doing waistbands, so that's why I didn't do it last night. I'm kind of putting it off. If I'm honest, I might not get around to doing it today because I'm so bad at putting things off. But I'm going to try to, because then they're done, and whether I can wear them now or later doesn't matter. I have about 3/4 metre of the fabric left, and I would really like to make some kind of button-up pyjama top to go with it. I have made the girl butt top a few times, which is like the perfect shape with its collar for a pyjama top, but I didn't particularly enjoy making it because it had so many pieces to it and it was quite faffy. So I'm definitely not up for making one of those at the moment. So if anybody knows of a slightly easier button-up sort of shirt style pattern, or like a nice sort of button down top that I could wear as a pyjama top that doesn't require too much fabric, let me know. Yeah, because I would like to make a top to go with it, and then maybe I probably would dye the whole lot together. The problem I have is I've been using Rit dye, which makes really good colours when you get it right. And my first thing I ever dyed with them, it went really well. It came out this really nice rust orange. But everything I've tried to dye since, it's come out really bad. So I kind of went off it. And the Dylon dye pods that you can buy for the washing machine, the colours are really basic, so I'm not a big fan of them. So I don't really know what to do. Like, this was dyed with Rit dye and it's just a really washed out orange. Nothing like the dress that I'm wearing. I mean, I like this colour. I don't like that colour. So yeah, that's kind of the problem. But yeah, so let me know if you have any ideas for pyjama top patterns that I could, or it's like a top pattern I could make a pyjama top from that would match. And then the last thing I've kind of been doing, I decided over my long weekend that I was going to make a batch of cold processed soap, because I have been making our soap for years. It definitely was cheaper than buying it before the price of olive oil rocketed. I'm now not so sure. I would imagine it is still cheaper to make it because I probably made about 25 bars of soap. And I didn't use my whole can of olive oil, did use a lot. And I already had all the other ingredients, so I guess so. But anyway, we were starting to run low on soap and it takes about 6 weeks to cure. So I made a biggish batch a couple of days ago, and I'll try and put some footage for you of it curing. So I made a very basic olive oil coconut cold processed soap, which I'm sure if you googled you'd find a recipe. And I added some green clay in to give it a nice colour. And so that's why it's a bit of an odd sort of greyish green colour. And I used lemon essential oils and black pepper to make it like a lemon and black pepper scent. So they're all the same, they're all really basic. It's quite a gentle soap. Yeah, I did put in some footage of me making the soap, so hopefully you've seen that. I was wearing goggles and a mask because the lye that you have to use, obviously it's lye, you have to be careful. Yeah, that was nice to get back into something I've not done for a long time. And I shouldn't need to make any for like another 6 months or something. So that's good. Maybe around Christmas I'll make another batch. And yeah, there we go. That's everything I've been up to. I mean, there are a few other things. I've not really done very much spinning lately. I need to change the bobbin and put a new one on. Started making a mobile to go over the crib, which we don't own. But that's not finished yet. When it's finished I'll share with you. Yeah, that's kind of it. I'm trying to take things a bit easier and have some rests, so I'm not quite as busy as I normally am, which I think is probably what I'm going to do now. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in another couple of weeks. Thank you. Goodbye.